Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Metal Management Gamer. Here are 5 reasons if you haven't played Willow for the Nintendo Entertainment Center, you should. Number 1, Willow is a good licensed game. I don't know if you play a lot of licensed games, but in the past they do not have a good reputation. Take E.T., the extraterrestrial for the Atari 2600, a game so notoriously bad that they just ended up burying thousands of them in a landfill, never to be seen again. And then there's Friday the 13th for the Nintendo Entertainment Center. This one's actually not that bad of a game. The gameplay's really difficult, but then the delivery. Jason in a purple tracksuit? Come on, guys, it just looks goofy. Who's going to play that? And then you have Jaws, also for the Nintendo Entertainment Center. Again, not that bad of a gameplay overall. It was difficult to play, but it just didn't kind of match up to the feel of the movies. Now this next one, Willow, the one we're discussing today, it actually hit the nail right on the head. Good story, good gameplay, all the characters you know and love, adapted very well for a system. Here's why. First off, the story works. If you've played any licensed games in the past, you'll know that they try to take the storyline from the movie and adjust the game so it fits it. In the gameplay, you might be going on a quest that the character in the movie did, and they try to adjust it so it's fun and interesting. Now, if you've seen the Willow movie, it's a personal favorite of mine, you know that Willow finds the baby Elora Danan on the creek bed near his village, and him and his family actually adopt her, and then they're given the quest because evil people come after her. She was left there by a handmaiden. So one of the ways that they made this game work is they skew the storyline from the movie a little bit. What they do is they ask what had happened if she had actually made it to her destination and Willow hadn't found her. Well, Willow's still the chosen protector and is supposed to find and help her. So how do they make that happen? Well, they have Willow be the base of a prophecy that's found out and studied by his village elder. And he's given this quest, this task to go out. Here's the village elder talking to him about the prophecy. So now we have a slightly skewed storyline from the movie. It's kind of like a multiverse. This change happened, so now we're on this storyline. And it's easier to adapt the gameplay and get a more exciting adventure. The skewing of the movie line story benefits us in another way that makes the game easier to enjoy. And that is, it has all your favorite characters from the movie, but because we've changed the storyline, now we're better able to use them in the game in a way that is both meaningful and fun. So in this situation, we have Willow's family. They're in the first village, and they act as a way to heal him if you have to travel back to town. And this is Vonkar. He was one of the warriors in the tribe and is used as an escort when Burblecut finds out that he has to go with Willow. So in this situation, he actually gives you your first weapon. So he doesn't need to be in the rest of the game. He served a purpose and he's been introduced and now he's gone. We don't need him anymore. And then you have the brownies. They were kind of comic relief. Now they also serve that purpose, but they give you quests too. And we even had Mad Mardigan, the wonderful rogue who accompanied Willow on most of the adventure. He's now pretty much still a delightful rogue, still finding himself in trouble. And then there's even new characters that are added to the game. When you change the storyline, you don't have to have all the same characters. You can add new ones to add life, depth, and adventure to the game so that you have new quests and new storylines to go about going on. Good storyline and all your favorite characters, all that's left is good gameplay. And in this situation, Willow's basically a Zelda clone, but that's actually a good thing. Most of the Zelda-based games on Nintendo are fun to play and enjoy. Willow takes those good aspects and adds a little bit more of an RPG element to it, and that makes the game fun. You can go left or right, up and down, there's different paths, and it's kind of labyrinthian when you move through it. Whenever you get to a screen that actually has enemies on it, the music gets more dramatic, and the screen itself actually comes into life. The background moves and waves around just to make it feel more dangerous. They've even included some creatures from the movie, like in this situation, the trolls. If you remember, Willow hates trolls. I do too. And then you got crazy monsters that were added just for the benefit of the game to add extra challenge. And like this here, a dual-headed, I guess, Etten or Cyclops or whatnot. And then there's an exploration and item collection aspect to the game. As you find different weapons and different shields, you can upgrade them and use them on Willow to make his quest more interesting. And there's even a little bit of backstory to each of the items you found, just a little touch. Like this shield has the swordsman's name written in it and like a moniker that says, "You have the light of life." At this point in the video, my character's already collected 3 different shields and a couple of different swords. Here I find a flame sword. Now, it is one of the letdowns is when you actually find a weapon, it doesn't really change how the weapon reacts on the screen. As you can see here in a second, I've got 3 different swords. I'm equipping the flame sword now. But when I actually go to the action scene, there's no flame on my sword, which is kind of a letdown, but it can only do so much. Different swords swing at different speeds, and as your character levels up, your strength builds, you'll be able to swing that particular sword faster and it'll do more damage. There's also a lot of hidden magic items. What Zelda clone would be complete without an ocarina or flute that allows you to be magically transported from one spot of the map to another? So when you play this flute, you get this little winged dragon bird thing, and he'll take you to places that you've already visited. It does make adventuring a little bit easier. And now, as you can see, I've entered a room with a boss. And you have an exchange with the boss like you do in many games. Some of the bosses are intelligent. Some of them, after talking to, if you have an item, you can give it to them, and you don't actually have to fight them. In this situation, I was sent here by a villager to find the village elder from one of the nearby villages to the Nelwynds. And in finding the village elder, I realized that he's been cursed. And I have a gold statue that he wants, and he says, "Whoa, you won't give it to me? Or I'm just going to take it, you pitiful creature." And then you get a boss fight. So there's a bar for me and a health bar for him. And as you can see, this particular boss isn't very strong. He kind of just stands there and throws his throwing axe. It acts like a boomerang from Zelda. But you just kind of figure out the pattern of the axe and wander around. But this was by far the easiest boss fight that he did, because this is the first one. So the interesting boss fights actually do make for, a fun game. I enjoyed them. All these great gameplay aspects rolled together with a good story and the good character development makes for a great game. But what's really exciting about this, and the number 5 reason you should play, is the impending awesomeness that is on the horizon. Now, if you're not familiar with Warwick Davis, he's a great character actor. He was in Star Wars as Wicket, he played Reapy Cheap in the Narnia series, and he was the Leprechaun. Also, the Professor Flitwick and Griphook characters from Harry Potter, and then Marvin the Robot from Hitchhiker's Guide. So, he's been around forever. Willow just happens to be one of my favorite movies that he was in. So watch the movie, play the game, and prepare yourself for Disney Plus's new series, Willow, coming soon November 30th. I can't wait to see what's going on with our favorite character, Willow, and how he's grown and changed. And thanks again for joining me for my video. These were 5 reasons if you haven't played Willow, you should. I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, and you have a happy Thanksgiving. Goodbye.